Today we're going to take this gnarly Banksia Pod and turn it into this beautiful Easter egg box.
Tim's American Beauty was made by Robust Tools, America's premier lathe manufacturer. Quality hardened tool rests and live centers too. Robust. Built to turn wood. Enjoyed for a lifetime.
Thompson Lathe Tools. Welcome to a new level of professional wood turning tools. Made by a wood turner for wood turners.
There are certain things in wood turning that I describe as extreme turning, and the Banksia Pod is definitely one of those things. This is the gnarliest, ugliest thing. It's so cool. I love it. It comes from the Banksia Pod tree in Australia, and it basically is a pine cone on steroids. This thing is a seed pod for that tree, and it's amazing. It's got all this really cool fuzz inside, but inside it looks like a fossil. But the neat thing is these holes here are where the seeds come out, so when this falls off the tree and dries and gets hard, fires will come through and stuff, and it'll get that heated up, and the seeds will shoot out 30 or 40 feet, and that's how it makes new trees. What I love about it, though, is when you do turn it, you can get this incredible look. I mean, like I said, it looks like a fossil. Just look at all the details in there. It's so cool. These are all the seed pod holes, and if you look on like this end, it starts to look like something completely different. And I love it. On the top here, it shows it too. Well, this is our project, and what we're going to do is we're going to make a really thin-walled vessel box. So that thing is ultra thin, less than maybe 1/8 of an inch. That's pretty cool, huh? So in order to make this, we have to mate it. So we have a piece of boxwood here from England, and I thought this was so cool because it's beautiful wood to use, and I thought, look at that great delineation. Till Brian pointed out it looks like a rubber band wrapped around it. So we're going to change plans a little bit today and use walnut, which will probably make it match a little bit better. Well, as you can see, how do you hold this sucker on the lathe? Well, you take it to the bandsaw. Solid wood, or pod, whatever you'd call it. Cool. Well, when I said it's extreme turning, I wasn't kidding. You better wear a face mask when you're doing one of these things, and you're gonna get stuff down your shirt and in your pants and whatever. But from these holes, sometimes you'll find a seed that's still in there and it comes out. It's got a real sharp point. It'll stick in about anything, so you better have a face mask on. So here we go. Turn her on. Get a little speed built up. I'm going to stand back in case things fly out. Yeah, a couple things. Spiders sometimes come out. But anyway, we're just going to take a roughing gouge. We're just going to go across. And just get to where we have a nice surface and we get rid of all the fuzz. But this is what's so cool about it, is it's like unpacking chocolates or something. You don't know how many layers of things you're going to find. So if you look at this right now, we've got all this really cool red fuzz coming off of there. So if you do this a lot, you probably want to wear breathing protection. So anyway, this thing's really gnarly looking now, but we're going to keep going for a little bit. Get smoothed out a little bit more, because we want to make a tenon on this. So you can see we're showing some of the hard surface now, which is what we're after. So we're going to make a tenon on this end. Now what's really important is I need about a 1.5 inch tenon to make this work. So I have to find solid wood, solid pod, all the way to get a good grip. You do not want to make a grip on air or on fuzzy parts, because that won't work. So sometimes you just have to keep wasting a little bit of the pod to go as you go down, but actually that's solid right now, so that's cool. So we're going to make a about 3/8 inch tenon on here. And I'm impressed. I used to think the only way you could cut these was with a carbide, but I'm using Thompson lathe tools right now, and this is the second pod I've cut with both the roughing gouge, the parting tool, and the spindle gouge in a minute. I haven't even sharpened yet. So they hold up pretty well to something this gnarly, and I'm really impressed with that. So we're going to bring this down just in size a little bit here. Now make the tenon just a little bit wider, so I'll have a good grip on there. So now I'm going to switch over to my little manufactured tool, which was a Badan from Thompson that I did this weird grind on. And I want to raise this up just a little bit and come in here. And now I'm going to make my dovetail. Just a little bit at a time. And it's a scraping motion. Then I want to go in at an angle like that, so it gives me a good fit in the jaws. There we go. Now we're ready to mount this in the chuck on the lathe. I've been working on the Banksia Pod a little bit here. You can see I've got a tenon on this end because we've got to hold it on both ends. And I've been just slowly removing the fuzz and the defects because there's a little bit of fuzz there. So that's about gone, which is good. And I was looking over here, this part got really chippy. And so now I'm down to where it's smooth. So I didn't know where the egg was going to be, where the top or the bottom was till I did this. And looking at this, obviously this is going to have to be the top of the egg and this is going to be the fatter part. So I've got this rough shape here. But the thing I want to do next really is just to part this at 2/3 point from the lid and the bottom of the box. And so I'm going to use my little tiny parting tool for this. This thing's really skinny and it's really helpful in these situations. And I need to lower my tool rest just a bit. But anyway, you're not going to shape it at this point because if you shape it, you're going to get in trouble because you're going to lose some wood pod in the process as we go. So I want to go ahead and get this going, and I'm thinking about it, and there looks good. So we'll start this up. And remember, well, you want to not waste a lot of pod, but at the same time, you don't want to get this tool caught in there. So I'm coming back, and I'm making that safety relief cut, so now I have this little bit of wiggle room in there. If you plunge it straight in, that tool will get caught and come right back at you. If you watch our videos on catches, you'll see what I'm talking about. Can be quite extraordinarily fun, exciting, but you don't want to do it too often. Now, one cool thing about pods is they're really fragile, right? So, watch this. Got them separated. Not bad, huh? Okay, while we have this on here, I want to drill a small hole. I just want to get rid of the center just a little bit. Don't want to go too deep because we don't know how deep we're going to have to do this later. But that little bit just gives me some space. Now, what I have to do though is while it's on here, I want to take this sanding disc and sand this perfectly flat. Because we're going to use this, there's going to be a piece of maple like this in between here and the next piece, so this has to be perfectly flat for when we glue it together. Now, just like the Banksia Pod, we're going to drill a hole, sand this in, and I'm going to part this off, and this is going to be our walnut rim that goes in between the two pieces of the Banksia Pod. Okay, we've got the bottom of our egg mounted right now. It's smooth. This is the rim. I got this rim. Yeah, good English there. Great. Oh, well, anyway, my wife will hate me for that. So we've got this rim here. It's all sanded down. So I've got thick gel Starbond glue. Met these people at the AAW Symposium, and very nice people. And I glued the tip shut, so I need to grab a pair of scissors real quick. It was my fault. I didn't clear out the nozzle. And as I go, yes, now it breathes. Anyway, I met them at the SWAT in Texas, and they're really nice people. So I bought some glue from them, and this stuff is awesome. So I'm just going to slather this on here. I want to make sure I have good contact all the way around because I don't know if I'm going to make this my edge or this my edge. So I want to have glue that covers all the way across. So we're going to slather it. And this is gel, so it's not going to immediately bond. So we're going to take it onto here, and make sure you don't hold your hand underneath. Don't ask me why I know that, but this stuff drips. Yeah, that was really fun. So we're going to bring this in and lock this down, and we're going to use the quill to put pressure on there. And so we're going to let that dry for about 2 or 3 minutes, and maybe put a little accelerator here just to get the edges going, right? So that'll help too. But anyway, we'll let that set up, and then we're going to move on to one of the next steps.
Tim's American Beauty was made by Robust Tools, America's premier lathe manufacturer. Quality hardened tool rests and live centers too. Robust. Built to turn wood. Enjoyed for a lifetime.
Thompson Lathe Tools. Welcome to a new level of professional wood-turning tools. Made by a woodturner, for woodturners.